Hello guys, Sinister Scrafty here, back with another video. This is my Gen 5 black and white, not black 2 and white 2, Nuzlocke encounter tier list. So when you're doing a Nuzlocke, this is just to know what kinds of things, what kind of Pokemons you want, and which ones you probably want to avoid. So, starting off, we have Superior. Now, Superior, incredibly fast, decent utility moves like Leech Seed, Reflect Light Screen, Coil, things of that nature. But Grass, Pure Grass, is pretty average type. And its offenses are middling. So yeah, kind of holds it back. Embor, best starter in my opinion. The fighting type coverage is really good. Really nice on this thing. I think it has base 123 attack. Yeah, that's insane. It hits like a truck. And it has strong moves as well to utilize that. Samurott is really good. For some reason, not too many water type encounters. You do get Timpole in Pinwheel Forest, so it's right before the second gym. But besides that, you're not really looking at any water types unless you choose Caracosta. So, and then Swanna right before Clay. So, man, pretty limited water types. Has good offenses. It's a bit slow. It wishes it were faster. But yeah, still a good Pokemon nonetheless. Watchog. It has good moves like Confuse, Ray, Hypnosis, Super Fang, but its abilities are not very good for in-battle purposes, and it only has a base 85 attack. I really don't know. They really made this Pokemon underwhelming. The only reason why it's not D tier is because it has decent moves and is good in the beginning portion of the game up to Lenora. You could even use it for Elisa. You know, it's still pretty decent up until that point. But Stoutland 100% outclasses Watchog. Has better stats pretty much in every stat, I would say. Better HP, better attack, better defense, worse special attack, but who cares? You're literally faster and have better special defense. And it gets Intimidate, so if you get Intimidate Stoutland, yeah, A tier. Sandra Stoutland, probably a bit worse. Considerably. I'd say top of B tier if you get Sandrush. But it's still a good Pokemon. Still going to be very valuable in your team. Liepard. So Liepard just doesn't hit hard enough. It's very unfortunate. And its level up move pool is kind of bad. Where it shines is its TMs, but it's better than Watchog. I will say that. Purloin is extremely frail and susceptible to critical hits. So Simisage, Simisear, and Simipour. So Simipour gets Scald, which is pretty nuts. And it's one of your only water type encounters. Like I said, for some reason Unova is a little bit water scarce. Definitely not A tier. I would say it's B tier though. Simisage is also B tier, and I don't know. Simisear is just, Flame Burst is not that good. Simisage gets Seed Bomb instead. Like, do you get Flamethrower at all? Like, they all get good coverage in Crunch and Acrobatics. See, like, Flame Burst, it has to rely on Flame Burst. That's depressing. The power difference is noticeable. You get Fire Blast at 34. That's a long time I don't know. I want to say they're really valuable for their typing more than anything else. That's what I'll say about the monkeys. But Flame Burst is so bad because this thing gets Leech Seed, this thing gets Ice Beam. What do you get? You don't get anything that they do get. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get Grass Knot, but so do the other two. Will-O-Wisp. Will-O-Wisp is pretty good. You know what? It's the worst of the three, but I'm not going to put it here apart. Musharna is very bulky. Good Psychic type. One of the only Psychic types you're going to have overall, especially early on. So it's okay. It's decent. It gets the job done. It fulfills the role that it fulfills. Unfezant, man. I really want to say it's D tier. Its move pool is mediocre, to say the least. Like it gets Air Slash, but has a base 105 attack with a 65 attack. So its main stab move is literally going to be Fly, and that hurts it. Fly is not a terrible move, but it's a 2-turn move, so it's not great. Yeah, like look at this. You get Facade at 55. Like what? Feather Dance is all right. Swagger is niche. Razor Wind is terrible. Taunt, Detect, Roost. Like it has a good support move pool, but its offense is just lacking. But I must admit, Machop is probably worse, so I'm going to move it back down to D tier. And under Unfezant, but Unfezant will probably be near the top of D tier. Zebstrika. It gets Flame Charge, it gets Stomp. It has the same problem as Unfezant, where its moves are not that good. It gets Wild Charge, but you get Recoil, Thrash. You know, most of your coverage is normal type. You don't want that. That's not very good. It gets Overheat, but that's super late into the game. So the biggest problem with Zebstrika is coverage, which seems to be a common syndrome in electric types. But Zebstrika definitely has its uses. Lightning Rod is really good for Elisa. It's really bad into Clay, obviously, so it kind of falls off. It's decent into Skyla, but Skyla's not very hard. You don't need Zebstrika for Skyla. You can win with anything else, especially if you picked Samurott. Samurott's pretty good into her. Doesn't take much damage for her moves, and he deals a ton back. Gigalith is pretty good. He is pretty good. He has massive defense, massive attack, base 135. He's literally even stronger than Embor. This guy's stone edges are going to hurt. It also has sturdy, which is really good in a Nuzlocke. Really, 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 really good. It's better than Stoutland. I'll say that. Because of sturdy. I mean, sturdy basically makes it so that you can never lose this guy unless you're playing atrociously bad, sorry. Swoobat, man, I mean, look at this. Base 57 attack, base 77 special attack. What? You cannot play through the whole game like that. I'm going to say it's better than Unfezant, though, because it has a Psychic typing, which is pretty cool. Also gets, well, it doesn't get Simple. That's Dreamworld. That's really unfortunate. If it did, it would be a better Pokemon. But it does get Calm Mind, Air Slash, Psychic, Psyshock, stuff like that. Excadrill is S tier, of course. Look at his attack stat. Look at his HP. He gets Swords Dance. He learns Earthquake by level up. He destroys the entire game, if I'm being honest. Yeah, just an insanely good Pokemon. Maybe even the best, if I'm being quite honest. Audino, pretty decent bulk, good support moves. I'd say better than Swoobat, because it has good utility early on in the game in particular. Conkeldurr. Oh, Conkeldurr is so good. Base 140 attack, really good bulk. I'm going to say he's right under Embor, because Embor has Fire Stab, but they fulfill a similar role, and Conkeldurr is excellent nonetheless. Seismitoad, Wander Ground typing is really, really, really good. We've seen that throughout the years. Swampert being the most notable example in Pokemon history. But yeah, this guy is kind of a jack of all trades. He's not really that great in any one particular area. He's pretty bulky. He kind of reminds me of Poliwrath in that sense, where he doesn't stand out in any one way. I would probably say it's better than Simipour. It gets some pretty interesting moves. Poison Touch is a fun ability, I must say, because especially if you teach him Poison Jab, he has a really high poison rate. Throw. Man, this guy really wants to have some kind of recovery, so because he depends on that bulk so much. So he's bottom of B tier. He's a good Pokemon. He'll be relevant till the end game. Yeah, he's decent, but he's just outclassed by Sawko at Sturdy, by the way. So, man, I'd say he's even better than Samurott. Base 125 attack, base 85 speed is no joke. And if you're lucky enough to find one with Sturdy, this guy is insanely good. Levani. Levani has decent stats. It has a really bad defensive typing. It's decent offensively, I guess. Grass is not good, but Bug is. But they complement each other fairly well until you see a flying type. That's when you're going to start having problems. But since it's a friendship evolution, you can have one right at level 20. Or level 21. So that is pretty early. That's right after Lenora's level cap, I believe. So, hey, it'll probably do a few things. I'll put it right under Superior. Scolipede. So Scolipede is really fast. Swarm and Poison Point are kind of when does this get Mega Horn? That's really the answer. Okay, so you can get it with a heart skill. That's really good to know. That means as soon as you evolve, you can get it. It also gets Baton Pass. That's really interesting. But yeah, Swarm Megahorn could probably be fun. Just be careful that you don't die. I'll say it's slightly better than Levani. Alright, this is Whimsicott. And Whimsicott is very fast, has Prankster, which is pretty cool, gets Leech Seed, gets Stun Spore. Tailwind could be interesting to support your team. It also can set up Sunny Day, learn U-turn. It's a decent mon. If you have a Superior, there's pretty much no reason to have it. Yeah, I'd say Superior is probably a little better. Lilligant, oh, this is better than Superior. And probably better than Stoutland. It has Quiver Dance. The main problem with this Pokemon is it has no coverage. That hurts. That hurts it a lot. See, Petal Dance. I mean, if you get lucky with Hidden Power, I guess that can help. But yeah, man, this thing has bad coverage. But Quiver Dance is terrifying. Especially if you're Giga Draining, you could stay healthy. Alright, Basculin. Basculin hits pretty hard. It's really fast. 98 speed is pretty impressive. Rockhead, Adaptability, and Reckless. those are all good abilities. And they're coming off a base 92 attack. This thing will probably fall off eventually, maybe after Clay or Skyla. But yeah, it's actually better than you probably would think. I would say better than Simipour. Just because it hits harder, just for its power. Crocodile S tier has Moxie and Intimidate. And it has ground dark typing, which is fantastic. Darmanitan, if you know what you're doing, it's fantastic. It dies pretty easily, so you really have to be careful, particularly when it's a Darumaka. It will be quite frail. So you have to play it very, very safely. Maractus, probably the worst grass type in the game. Man, I want to put it in D tier, actually. What are its stats? Yeah, it's not great. Water Absorb is nice, if you can get it, if you're lucky enough. Peck Absorb, Pin Missile, Mega Drain, Giga Drain. It got Sucker Punch, but its attack stat is pretty low. Yeah, man, this thing is bad. This thing is very bad. Crustle. I like Crustle. It gets Sturdy, I believe. Yeah, Sturdy. Or Shell Armor. That's so good. That's literally so good. Base 125 defense is no joke. It has a solid 95 attack. What's your level up move pool like? Rock Blast, Bug Bite, Rock Slide, X Scissor, Shell Smash. Holy crap, this thing is cracked. I'm going to say it's even better than Gigalith. That's quite impressive, by the way. Crustle should be proud of itself. Next up, we have Scrafty. Wow. You see, my channel's based around Scrafty. It's my namesake. I have to give it the coveted S tier. And you may be asking, why is that? It has Moxie, and if it doesn't have Moxie, it has Shedskin, which is pretty good too. But this guy, he gets Drain Punch, High Jump Kick, which will do serious damage at level 31. That's crazy. Crunch. Head Smash is good, it's just so late. But yeah, this thing's really good. I just wish it got Dragon Dance. And some of these other crazy moves. You can get Fire Punch, Ice Punch, Thunder Punch. Listen. This is definitely favoritism. But we'll allow it just for this one time. Sigilyph. So Sigilyph is literally better Swoobat, if I'm being honest. Let's see these stats here. It is pretty speedy, gets some really good moves. And those are good abilities too. Wonderskin makes moves that affect status conditions work half the time. That's really good. That's pretty solid, I would say. Tinted Lens is amazing, but it's a hidden ability. So Magic Art is obviously notoriously amazing. Gets Psybeam at level 18, Air Cutter at level 21, Light Screen at 24, Reflect at 28. This thing is pretty good. Then it gets Air Slash and Sidekick in the 40s, as well as Cosmic Power. Yeah, this Pokemon is solid. Has base 103 special attack. Yeah, man. Swoobat is just bad Sigilyph. That's all I've got to say about that. You know what? I'll even put it above Musharna, just because it has some really good utility and support moves. Cofagrigus. This thing is very tanky. And it has a solid special attack stat. Mummy is okay. Most of the time it doesn't really end up doing anything. Maybe it'll take someone's Sturdy away or something, but that's really all it's gonna do for you. It's still a good Pokemon though. It is one of the few ghost types you can get in this game. So it gets Will-O-Wisp. It's pretty good. If you give your mask an Eviolite, it's pretty bulky. It helps compensate for its late evolution. Caracosta gets Sturdy. Yeah, or Solid Rock. Those are both really good abilities. Good attack, good, decent special attack, and amazing defense. Very weak to grass types. I'd say this is probably around here. You can see that most water types are decent. They will serve you well for the most part. Archeops, listen, Archeops is pretty good. Defeatist is terrible, but there's counterplay to it. Top of B tier seems fair. It will do things. Like, this is an insane attack stat coming off of an insane speed stat. Garbodor has pretty bad abilities. And that's really what kills it for me. Like, his stats they're okay. They're not anything crazy. But it has a wonderful move pool, and it's very fun to use. So I'll put it here. Man, I feel like I'm giving it a little bit too much credit. Here, I'll put it's better than Simisear, because Simisear is doo-doo. Zoroark. Man, where do you even get this? Is this even attainable? Its level up move pool is really bad. It's not good. It's like dark moves galore. They're all physical pretty much. It gets Hone Claws. Yeah, I'd say it's like it's good. It's good. Illusion is good. It's better than Lilligant, but its time as Azura is rough. So, yeah, like I said, I'm not even sure if you can get that in a legitimate run. I think it was just a gift from the shiny Raikou, Entei, and Suicune. So, yeah, but if it were in the game, that's where it would be. Since you know, really fast. You don't get Skill Link in this game, so that really hurts it. Technician's a decent ability, but if you don't get Technician, it's literally useless. So, with Technician, it's low B tier. With Q-Charm, it's D tier. So, we're just going to average and put it in C tier. Not having Skill Link really kills it. Gothitelle, really bulky, decent special attack stat. Frisk is not very good, if I'm being frank. Yeah, it's just... Yeah, I would say it's around Musharna level. Probably a little bit better. Uniclus is probably the best psychic type. Let's see here. Overcoat, Magic Guard. Magic Guard is pretty good. Has a 125 special attack stat. That's really good. And it's very bulky, gets Recover. That's wonderful. This is a wonderful Pokemon. We'll put it right there. Who's next? Swanna. Ooh, Swanna. I want to say Swanna is probably the top of C tier. It has pretty bad stats. It's fast. Water flying typing is okay. It has really bad abilities. You get it pretty late in the game. Driftville Drawbridge. So, yeah, it's better than Swoobat, but you're better off with these other water types up here, if I'm being honest. So, yeah, it's not worth waiting for. Vanillix, this thing evolves at level 47. That is pretty late. That's the big problem I have with this, but it has okay stats. I mean, its offenses are good. It's especially bulky. You can set yourself up for Hail and get Ice Body Chip Heal. but it's not really that good, if I'm being honest. I'd say it's like top of C tier. If you get it, okay, but you might want to use things up here. Saucebuck. Saucebuck is pretty fun to use as a normal grass typing, which is pretty unique. It has decent offenses. Sap Sipper's pretty good if you know how to abuse certain things. Makes you immune to grass, so you can be a decent pivot in that sense, I guess. But yeah, it hits pretty decently hard and it's pretty fast. It has pretty decent moves. Yeah, it's about as good as Superior. If you didn't pick Superior, it's a good choice. Emolga's really good early on, but falls off really hard like a truck. So for that, I will put it right above Swanna. I feel like it's slightly better. It is faster, but its offenses are a little bit worse. Static is pretty good. Electrifying is a really good typing. So Escavalier is probably S tier. So we'll put him up here under Crocodile. But if you can't evolve it, it's really bad. So this is if you're playing with trades. Excelgor. Where is Excelgor? Okay, this list is missing Excelgor. That's really weird. So if Excelgor is worse, it's probably B tier. Amoonguss is not that good. I'd say it's you get Spore really late. You can't really take advantage of it. Effect Spore is alright. It has decent bulk. Its offenses are okay. It evolves kind of late. I'd rather use Simisage or Lavani rather than using Amoonguss. Because Amoonguss is so late, there's just no reason to justify unless these guys died, then I guess it's a decent alternative, but yeah. Overall, not that amazing, not that amazing typing, so. Jellicent. Jellicent is really good. Water Ghost typing. Water Absorb is pretty decent. Very bulky. Gets Scald, Will-O-Wisp, a bunch of support moves. It's a solid A tier for sure. Galvantula. Oh, sorry, Alola-Mola. Alola-Mola is pretty bad. D tier. It's very bulky, but it's very passive. It has 75 attack, 40 special attack. What are you supposed to do with that? How are you supposed to generate any offense? Galvantula. Galvantula is pretty good. It evolves pretty late, but if you get compoundized, it has around 94% Thunder, I believe. So, pretty good. I put it in the bottom of A tier. Ferrothorn is amazing. Grass Steel is a good typing. It has good bulk. Good move pool. It can hit pretty hard. Power Whip stings. Yeah, I would say it's A tier. Clink Clang. Clink Clang has good stats. It does get Shift Gear, which raises its attack and speed. Speed by 2 stages, so yeah. Its abilities don't do anything, so it's very sad. Very, very sad for it. And evolves very late at level 49. So it's a steel type, so if you don't have any other steel types, it will be useful. But yeah, it evolves really late, which really, really, really hurts it. Cling can hold an Eviolite to help mitigate that. Let's see, 95. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be pretty bulky. So I'll put it on the top of B tier. It's usable. It doesn't have good offensive coverage, so just keep that in mind. Don't expect it to sweep a team of water types or something. Electros, pretty good. Good offenses, no weaknesses. Until it's an Electros, though, it's kind of hard to use. But the end result is worth it. It's good. It's probably better than Galvantula. It has a really, really good move pool. Good mixed coverage with good mixed offenses. Behem, Behem is not very good, if I'm being honest. Synchronize is okay, but you only get that half the time. If you got this, you're probably mad that you didn't get Litwick. Its move pool is not very good. Get Psychic at level 39, that is entirely too late. Recover at level 50, it eventually comes around, but it takes so long to do so that it is just entirely not worth it. It's better than Swoobat, I'll give it that, but yeah, it's really struggling otherwise. Chandelure, very, very good. Ghostfire is phenomenal. It's probably better than Darmanitan. I'll even say it's better than Emboar. Top of A tier. It's a really good Pokemon. Its base special attack stat is monstrous, to say the least. Base 145, like, that's almost Haxorus's attack stat. That's really good. I've got to be honest. Also gets Will-O-Wisp. Haxorus, really good. Like I said, has a 147 attack stat. Really good 97 speed. This thing will do some damage. If you keep it alive, let it stick around, it's going to be a threat to the opponent. It just does crazy damage. Until it's fully evolved, though, you got to be careful. You got to be careful how you play with him because it can die easily when it's an Axion Fracture. Beartic. Beartic has good stats, but it's a pure Ice type. That hurts it. It's very slow, also. Like, really, really slow. And the slowness is probably what kills it the most, if I'm being honest. I'm going to say Vanillix is better. It's just not a great Pokemon. It hits hard, but that's if it even gets to move, you know? Cryogonal, very fast, very specially bulky, hits decently hard with its special attack. Has Reflect, Light Screen, Acid Armor to patch up its shaky defense. It's probably bottom of B tier. If you use it correctly, it can be useful. Excelgor. Is Excelgor down here? Why are they so far apart in the Pokedex? I don't understand that. Yeah, man. I'm going to say Excelgor is D tier. Am I being too harsh? Hydration, Sticky Hold. What is that going to do for it? It has base 100 special attack. Okay, that's fine, but your defense is base 40, dude. You will die to anything. You will be the fastest thing on the field. I guess if you want to be like a U-turn bot, that's fine. It gets Giga Drain, it gets Recover, but it's so frail. Agility, you don't need that. Yeah, this thing's not good. It's not worth the trouble. It's really not. Stunfisk. It's bulky. Its special attack is usable. Ground Electric is alright, I guess. It's very unique in that sense, so you can always have a niche. I'll put it around Emolga. Seems to be around that good. Mienshao is fantastic. It gets U-turn Regenerator, hits like a truck, evolves extremely late though, which hurts it a lot in my opinion. I'll say it's Undercrustal. It's just that when you do get it, it's amazing. But until then, like, it just takes such a long time, you know. Dredagon's alright. It's decently bulky, hits hard. It's very slow though, so you get it pretty late in the game. I'll say it's better than Throw. Next up, we have Golurk. Golurk is pretty good, but you really need Iron Fist for it to be optimal, you know. Klutz is a terrible ability. You really don't want to be stuck with Klutz. So it can be amazing or it can be trash. It really just depends. Not using items is really detrimental. I don't know why you would ever want that. But yeah. This is if you get Iron Fist, go lurk. It's up here. If you don't, yeah. It's not even worth your time, probably. Bisharp, really good. Evolves really late. Has good offensive coverage. Hits like a truck. But it just comes so late in the game. That's what sucks about it. It doesn't evolve until so late. So I'll give it bottom of A tier. It's a really good Pokemon when you do have it. Bouffalant is just so late in the game. Like, you'll already have better options. And it being pure normal, like, you probably still have your Stoutland alive. If you don't, then, I mean, I guess it's a good replacement, but it's good, don't get me wrong. I just don't know why they stuck them right at the end. Braviary hits really hard, evolves incredibly late, 54. Like, what? And the same goes for Mandibuzz. Like, I don't understand. Mandibuzz is worse. Like, I'm just going to put it here, honestly. I'm just going to put it there. Because it's just not, like, it's a rufflet for the entire game until the Elite Four. It doesn't, like, it's good for the Elite Four, but you can't use it the entire game beforehand? Like, that doesn't seem like... They just, like, gate-kept a lot of these Pokemon by late evolutions or just getting him really late in the game. Heatmore is very slow. It has decent offenses, decent offensive coverage, but it seems underwhelming for where you get it in the game. So, Braviary is better. I would rather use Braviary. Durant is really good, really fast. Bug Steel is very good typing. It's very specially frail, so just watch out. But yeah, it's a good Pokemon. Hustle is very... it makes you unpredictable, but if you get swarmed, it's good, man. Very, very good. You'll be firing off really strong attacks. Hydreigon, you can't even get this. Yeah, 64. Like, does Wheelus have 50? Like, is Wheelus even good with an Eviolite? No, it's not. It's so slow. 58 speed. What were they thinking when they made this Pokemon? Anyway, I'm gonna rank Sweetless, and I'm gonna say it's D tier. I'll say Excelgor is better than all of these. If I'm being honest, Swoobat is D tier. Alright, so Volcarona, you don't get this until post-game either, I don't think. So, yeah, is it post-game? Because if it is, then I'm just not even going to rank it. It is in Relic Castle. So yeah, very late in the game. When you do have it, it's amazing. It's S tier. It's S tier if for the time you have it. And then legendaries, I ban legendaries on my Nuzlocks, but they're all amazing. So let's look at this list, make any last second changes that I think are necessary. These are like loosely ordered, by the way. Like if things are 1 or 2 spots away from each other, it's probably not a big deal at all. But yeah, Excadrill, Scrafty, Crocodile, Excavalier, Ferrothorn, and Volcarona. Yeah, these are the cream of the crop. Emboar is hands down the best starter. Fighting types are really good. Steel types are really good in general. So, yeah, I mean, everything. Yeah, I'm going to say you're here, buddy. You're barely B tier. He's B tier because of his speed and Will-O-Wisp. Those two things are handy. But yeah, guys, this is my Gen 5 Nuzlocke Encounter tier list, and let me know what you think. Like and leave a comment below.